This is just a quick video on how to export photos. When I'm exporting, as I'm editing, I'm applying a color label to my images. So you'll see in my film strip here, you'll see red and you'll see gray. These images that have a red bounding box around them are images that I've chosen for export. And when I'm done editing them, I add the 5 stars. So the color label red is number 6 on the keyboard. If you prefer green, it's number 8. And then to get the 5 stars, I just hit the number 5 on my keyboard. Then I'm going to come into this black bar right here. This is called the filter bar. And I'm going to go over here to this group of colored squares. And I'm going to click on that. And that is going to sort my film strip by red labels. So now you can see that all of the gray images, which is to say the images with the gray bounding box, are no longer appearing in this bar. And you can see up here that this red square has a white bounding box around it. In Lightroom, your original images that are sitting on your hard drive are not being edited. Lightroom uses essentially a replica. So what's happened here is all of these images have been edited, but none of these edits are on my hard drive at the moment. All they are is living in Lightroom. So I need to get them out into my hard drive. So I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to click Select All, and then I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to choose Export. In Export, there are some functions that are really important to choose. Sorry, my system's really laggy. So we'll start with the left-hand side here. I'm going to close these user presets because those are things that I've built. Lightroom ships with burn to full-size JPEGs, export to DNG, export for email, and export for email to your hard drive. Up here, you have an option of choosing where you want to export these. So if you want these to go out to your hard drive, make sure that hard drive is written there, or you can see it there. If it's not there, you just click in here, this down arrow that's over here, choose hard drive, and that's that. Then in export location, this is where you're going to tell Lightroom what to do with these images. So the first thing you should change, if it doesn't show specific folder, click over here where this down arrow is and actually choose specific folder. The next thing you're going to do is go to choose, and you're going to navigate in your computer to where your originals live. So this is a golf tournament that I shot, and it lives in my computer in this folder in the year, which is 2022. It is in Global Fest events, so I'm going to double click to go in there. And this particular group of photos is Global Fest golf group. So I'm going to just click once. I'm not going to double click. The reason I'm only going to click once is because down here in folder, the name of this folder is going to be recreated here, and I want to copy this. So I'm going to just click and drag to highlight it all, and then I'm going to hit Control-C on a PC and Option-C. I'm not a Mac user, could be Command-C. I think it's actually Command-C. You want to copy this. So once you have that title copied, you're going to use that on a new folder. So we're going to select this folder because now I'm going to tell Lightroom I want to put these photos in this folder. So select that, and then the next thing you want to make sure is checked. Okay, so you'll see where you're going to deposit these photos is going to turn up here. And then make sure put in subfolder is checked. And I'm going to take out what I had in there. So click and drag, and then I'm going to go Command V or Control V, V as in Victor, and I'm going to paste the name of that folder. And then I'm going to add a comma, and I'm going to write in capitals edits or pics or selects, anything that will make this different from the main folder. Then I'm going to copy and paste this whole thing. I'm going to add an S on there, actually. I'm going to copy and paste this whole line right here. So Control-C, Command-C, and I'm going to come down here to Rename To. And what I want to do is give it a custom name and retain my original file number. always important to retain those original file numbers. It's really important so that you can find your originals and your edits and you know that it's the same image. So just click this down arrow here, choose custom name, which is the name you're going to give it, and original file number so that the original file number stays with it. Okay, and then down here in custom text, I'm going to take out what was in there. So select all, backspace, and then go Control V or Command V, Victor. And then you'll see right below in example, it says the date, what it is, edits, so that I know, and the original file number. So that's how you rename and how you locate everything. I'm going to pull my slider down here, and in file settings, I'm going to ignore video because these are stills, so I don't care about video. In file settings, I'm going to export these as JPEGs, which is great. I'm going to leave this color space, which is RGB, red, green, blue. I'm going to make sure the quality is 100%, and I'm not going to limit this file size because these are going to this organization. There's usually not a lot of reason to limit file size unless you want to make sure that people don't download them and take them off to be printed. You may want to control what happens there. So you can limit the file size. I don't ever do it. I do that limitation in another place. Down here in image sizing, so again, if you only want to make these available as digital images that can't be printed very big, this is where you're going to do this. For this organization, I'm not changing any of these. So I'm not going to click resize to fit. I'm going to leave that alone. And because I'm not checking that, these notations here are not active. If I click here, now I can change these sizes. So unclick that. That gives you the original dimensions. And if you want these to be available as large printable files, your resolution should be 300 pixels per inch. That's sort of a standard size. So two things to know. When you're talking about dimensions, you're talking about the physical size of the image, which is to say, is it 5 by 7? Is it 8.5 by 11? We don't care about that here. This item here, the resolution, pixels per inch, is specific to an item or a thing that you want to print in ink. So those pixels per inch, this is related to how much actual ink ends up on the paper, the printing paper or the photo paper. So if you do mean to have these available for printing, it's a good idea to leave this 300 because that's 300 dots of ink per inch. Okay. What else do we need to do in here? You will have already sharpened stuff in the program when you're editing, so you can leave that alone. And then in metadata, you want to make sure that the metadata for these images come with it. So that metadata that you set up in the beginning with name and phone number and address and all that, if you select that, you can say copyright only, you can say copyright and contact only, everything. This is usually the best choice for most things. You want to make sure that your contact information is available in the file data. And then you won't have a watermark yet. I'm going to do another video on that. So leave that unchecked. And then the last thing is to make sure that after export, it says show in Explorer. You want this to pop up and show you where these images are going to live. And that's basically it. So I'm going to export these images, make sure I've put them in the correct place. I have. So this takes a few minutes to export. And then when all the images are exported out of Lightroom into your hard drive, now you do actually have copies of these edited images that are living on your hard drive. And that's how you edit or how you export.